Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. Oh my gosh, I just can't keep up with things. This year has been insane. So I just recorded a video, but I'm gonna post it tomorrow. I didn't see this on church news. Okay, I didn't see this. So when you watch that video tomorrow, just know I hadn't seen this yet, because there was a part where we were talking about how is the church hastening, or how's the Lord hastening his work. And this is kind of a big way, what we're about to talk about right here. I first heard about this from Troy with the Last Dispensation channel. Please make sure to subscribe to him. I'll put a link for his channel in the description box below. So, new full-time mission opportunities for single seniors. Single men over 40 may now serve, and opportunities for single sisters are expanding. Okay, so this is a hastening. Now, these are not proselyting missions, but up until now, if you were a male, single, 40 or older, I guess you couldn't serve like a senior mission. And I just turned 40 this year, so I guess I could 40 and senior. Am I a senior now? Is that what I am? Okay, whatever. So anyway, this is really interesting. We're going to look at my spreadsheet called Timeline Preparing the Church for the Second Coming, which is an attempt for me to try and capture everything that's happened during President Nelson's presidency, all the big changes that have come during his presidency. And there has been a lot. And this is the latest one. It's happening today, November 1st. So let's take a look at this. Serving a full-time mission, be it in the teenage years or later in life, is a goal for many members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. To fully embrace the gifts, talents, and experiences of more church members around the world, the First Presidency and Quorum of the 12 Apostles have expanded missionary opportunities for single members of the church age 40 and older. Excuse me. Effective November 1st, 2024, single men and older may be called as full-time senior missionaries so I think this is the one thing, if they do not have dependent children living at home. Those who serve in this capacity will be considered for various assignments in area, in mission offices, family history, and other roles for which they have unique life experiences. For example, medical, legal, and other realms. So that's really interesting. The one that I have a question about is, I wonder if there's like any, because I know that there's like senior missionaries that serve like military communities. Like when I was in the Army, we had a senior couple that would come and visit us on post. We lived on post, so they would come and visit my family, and it was great. And I don't know, that would be neat if you had some of these single men that maybe had also served in the military. They could do the same thing. That's just like the first thing that comes to mind for me. What about you? Put it in the comments below. Okay, continuing. Similar to most single senior sisters, single senior elders will be devoted to their individual area of responsibility and will not serve in a companionship. Single senior missionaries, like senior couples, can serve for 6, 12, 18, or 23 months. That's kind of odd. Why? What? Anyone have any idea, or do you know why 23 instead of 24? Because all these are like even numbers divisible by 6. Let me know if you know. Why 23? Why not 24? The types of missionary assignments available for single women age 40 and older have also been expanded. Okay, so this was not on my radar. I was not tracking this. I did not know that single women age 40 or older could already serve these missions. When I was first reading through this, it wasn't exactly clear. I guess it kind of is clear right here, but I double checked on another website. This is abc4.com in Utah. And it says here, single women are already serving as full-time missionaries in several areas. So this is basically just new for single men that are 40 and older. But it says that for women, the assignments have expanded. So that's new for women. In addition to the current roles, They feel supporting local church units, advising missions on medical matters, working in family history, and other roles in mission offices. Potential assignments will now include visitor centers, historic sites, employment centers, and additional roles in area and mission offices. So that's pretty neat. Earlier this year, I went to a bunch of church visitor centers. We went to the Liberty Jail. We went to the Independence Visitor Center. Let me think. Well, I guess those are the only two. No. And then Kirtland, when we went to the Kirtland Temple for the eclipse, we went to the Kirtland Visitor Center. So I guess that's 3. So visitor centers are fresh on my mind right now. Okay, members who seek to serve must meet the church's requirements for health and financial support. Full-time senior missionaries typically serve 40 or more hours per week and live away from home. Bishops can initiate full-time missionary recommendations using the missionary recommendation system. Latter-day Saints can visit seniormissionary.churchofjesuschrist.org to learn more about the expanded service opportunities for full-time missionaries. Why don't we just look at that really quick? Do they have like the list? What is the best missionary opportunity for me? Do they have the list here? You have to sign in. I know there was somewhere, I think I saw like a pamphlet or a little like a guide that showed all the different missionary assignments that there are. So if you're interested, you should probably log on and check it out. Talk to your bishop. So this is really neat. Okay, so this is now my newest item, like I was talking about earlier, on my spreadsheet called Timeline Preparing the Church for the Second Coming, where it seems to me all this has to do with a couple things. One, it has to do with a hastening of the work. I'm sure with any given missionary assignment as a senior missionary, I'm sure that even though you're not a proselyting missionary, and let me know in the comments below because I know some of you are senior missionaries and you watch my channel, but I'm pretty sure with any given assignment, there's probably lots of opportunities to share the gospel. Even though you're not proselyting, you still come across people, you give them a Book of Mormon, or you refer them to the proselyting missionaries. So in that sense, I feel like that's a hastening of the work. And it goes along with this missionary surge that we're in the middle of right now. So that's what I think is going on here. So a hastening of the work. And then the other thing that seems to be going on is I feel like the church is preparing for a large influx of members, like converts at the time of the second coming, because Brad Wilcox has talked about that in a couple talks. And it seems to me that all the temples that are being built aren't so much to meet the needs of members right now, but those that are going to join the church in the near future. That's what I believe. I'm not going to go over these numbers really down here too much, but I did this like little thought experiment where, after the second coming, if you have half the people that remain in Dodge City, Kansas, for example, where there's one ward, this would be the number. And I looked at the ratios. If the remaining amount, if like 50% of them that remained, if half of those decided to join the church, then you'd have ratios like this, where you would have one member of the ward per 28 converts. But if you reduce it to adults, if you take the youth and children out, then it would be more like one adult member of the church per 70 converts. And for Melchizedek priesthood holders, it would be more like 1 to 347 in the case of Dodge City, Kansas. So with that in mind, there's probably going to be a great need for everybody, and especially for priesthood holders, because you're going to have all these people that need to get baptized, that need to be confirmed, that need to go to the temple. There's going to be a need for temple workers, both men and women, of course. And so with that in mind, let me just do a quick run through of what I have here. Probably not going to read every single one of these, but you can look at what I believe the effect is in column C of whatever the change is in column B. Okay. So sometime in 2018, Gospel Topics was launched, which I think is important if you're a new member of the church, you're trying to learn the doctrine of the church. There's a lot of other resources, but Gospel Topics, which is now, Gospel Topics and Questions, or Topics and Questions, that's where you can go and easily find out what our doctrine is for for virtually any topic, right? So that's a good resource for converts. Ministering replaces home and visiting teaching, which I feel reduces some redundancy. And it's also a more familiar term, especially if you have a Christian, like a Christian from outside of our church, convert and join the church. They may feel more comfortable with this word, ministering. The church ended the relationship with the Boy Scouts of America. One of the things that I never thought I would ever see in my lifetime, I thought the church would just always support the Scouts, but that relationship ended. And they launched a new program for children and youth, and it's global in nature because the church is growing and becoming more and more of a global church. The hymn book and children's songbook are being revised to create new unified editions for the worldwide church. So everybody's on the same page, literally. Okay, President Nelson. Let's see. No, let's skip forward. You have the Saints series, and the church has really been pushing this. In fact, I think there's been a couple devotionals that have focused on this series of books, the Saints, which if you're a new member, if you're a new convert and you're trying to understand what's been going on in the church, what have I missed for the last couple hundred years, you can just go there. You can either get a physical copy, or you can just read it on the church website under the Gospel Library, and you can go through the 4 volumes and catch up with what's been going on in church history and some of the major milestones. Okay, and then we went from 3-hour to 2-hour church. That was a huge change, and I think that'll make it much easier for people that are new, that aren't used to going to church for 3 hours. So some of you have sent me emails saying that you think that it's going to go to 1-hour church, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. We'll see. Here's another, I think, kind of a hastening. The way that they changed the age at which you receive the priesthood as a young man. Now you can get it when you're 11 years old. You don't have to wait until your 12th birthday. It's just the year that you turn 12. That's when you can get the priesthood. And therefore, you get a little boost of, deacons going to do temple work and doing baptisms for the dead. Whereas before, they would have had to wait until they turned 12. So it's a little bit of a boost. 2019, 1-year waiting period for temple sealings after civil marriage is discontinued. So that's just getting people sealed quicker. You have the Book of Mormon video series, which, just like Saints, this is one way to get familiar with the Book of Mormon. If you're a new convert, it's like a easy way to just kind of see the overview of the Book of Mormon. And then there's this, also in 2019. Women, youth, and children may now serve as witnesses of sealing and baptismal ordinances. So remember what I was just talking about, how there's probably going to be a great need for anyone that holds the priesthood to perform baptisms, for example. Well, it used to be that it had to be 2 priesthood holders, but now that's not the case, because I think they've looked at it. They've looked at anything that may not be strictly doctrinal. I think it was probably good practice to have priesthood holders, but it wasn't strictly doctrinal. And this is a way to free up priesthood holders to actually perform the ordinances of baptism and sealing and so on and so forth. So you see what I mean? Freeing up priesthood holders for a large influx of converts. Ward young men presidencies are discontinued. Now it's the bishop that's over the young men, and those men that were in the young men presidencies of their ward, now they're freed up to be in elders quorum. So imagine you have all these new converts, and you only have a handful of people that were already in the church for a while in an elders quorum setting. And they're being overwhelmed with like questions from these new converts. Like everybody, they're trying to learn about the church and the doctrine. And so if you have more men in there that have already been with the church for a while, they can help with those questions, answer questions, and help elders quorum run smoothly. And there's just, I don't know, there's more. What is this one? More missionaries. Based on area presidency direction and approval, eligible members of the church anywhere in the world may now be considered for a senior service mission, according to a letter from the first presidency. Eligible members of the church anywhere in the world. So maybe there were certain areas where you couldn't do that, but now it's worldwide. I can't remember, but and I don't have a reference for that. I'll have to look that up. Okay, whatever. So, continuing. Oh yeah, here you go. Gospel topics was renamed topics and questions. So again, it's a part of Gospel Library where you can search different topics. So that's good for new converts. So yeah, and there's probably other things that I'm missing, but there has been a flurry of changes. Things that have made the church more streamlined, and I think more positioned in a way to where it can more easily receive all these new converts into the church. I think that's what's going on, as well as just like getting more of the gospel out there and having more missionaries. Because with this most recent change, ultimately it boils down to more missionaries, more opportunities for people to come in contact with the church. So, okay, one more time, make sure to subscribe to Troy, The Last Dispensation. He's the first one that I heard this from. And then if you haven't subscribed to me, please make sure to do so. Like this video if you liked it. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.